emphasize.
And I agree. Like the whole idea of like, as educators, how do we educate? Like, and we have all these traditional ways of doing that we're used to, and we're constantly sort of trying to improve. And
Yeah,
as we talked about before, like the Zoom and the online learning is something that we're getting better at. But like, how as educators and people that are trying to create positive sort of like content in the world, not just online, in the world, how can we use these platforms to make it entertaining, educational,
yeah,
engaging,
yeah,
for the youth that constantly go to these spaces to be engaged,
yeah,
and that's the question. Like, like I go back to, financial advice on TikTok. I think it's cool. Like, I think
yeah,
it's cool because I just don't know if these young people are going to get this advice if it wasn't, or be exposed to this type of content if it wasn't for this way of creating it in this platform, like whether it be saving money or
yeah,
investing or how to's on the
yeah,
different subjects.
yeah,
And
yeah,
because I was even thinking like, I was thinking about Miguel, and he's definitely on no platforms. And I'm like, dude, like, so I understand that you're not into it. I understand that you probably don't want to engage in it in such a way that you're sort of caught up in it because you feel like it's a waste of time. But, what if you started TikTok with like inspirational quotes or quote of the day or, advice of the day
yeah,
or, do you know what I'm saying? Like, or
yeah,
teacher advice of the day, or like, I don't know, things that you've learned throughout your
yeah,
many years, and then just put it out there, like whether it be for youth or for teachers that are on there or for other educators that are on there. You can choose, obviously the biggest and most trendiest is like the biggest, the youth crowd, but like you can also pick your community. You can
yeah,
also
yeah,
say, this is for, you don't have to formally say it, but
right,
intentionally say it, this is for the people that are in this sort of space.
yeah, yeah,
And in doing so, you know um talk to them directly or talk to each other directly, because there's a lot
yeah,
of other people doing the same thing.
yeah. No, how you just said it was like one of those, like when I'm looking at like, oh, how do you build passive income, right? There's tons of those versions of building passive income, and tons of other ways. Like, hey, this worked for me. This didn't work for me. That like, so I think that's a good idea. But let's just do it, right? Let's just, how do we use, this hour we have here, or how do we use that to have those snippets,
Man, if Fools Gone Wild can do it, I'm not sure why we couldn't sort of figure it. I mean, those are just random videos of like
Yeah,
random people,
yeah,
and somebody's speaking over them. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah,
How is it that we? I mean, and education and the youth within that space and the people that care about that space. There's tons of content in there. It's just a matter of like, how do we sort of like, um, how do we sort of capture that,
yeah,
and package it in such a way that people sort of feel engaged. And
yeah,
that's $1 million question,
yeah, yeah. But I must say, maybe I'm more of like, let's just try to do some stuff and let's see what hits, and then some stuff that's proven, right? Some, like you said, talking over stuff, or showing a clip and talking about it helps, right? Like, why reinvent the wheel when it's already there? It just
I mean,
hasn't been done in this talk.
right. And so again, going back to what we're creating, like, Chicanos working with community in, executive positions with a doctorate, degrees, like the life of, or how
Yeah,
to get to some of these spaces. Like those are very specific and very interesting topics for a larger amount of people. And like, how do we sort of create that for like, there's tons of people talking about movies, like random movies, like, I don't know, Back to the Future. Why couldn't we talk about like the movies that we care about, right? The movies within our community, and like, discuss the cultural or the
yeah,
political or the, implications within
yeah,
that,
yeah,
where we all know they're classics, but a lot of people don't understand why they're classics or
uh-huh,
why
uh-huh,
they were written a certain way, or why
yeah,
they were like, framed a certain way, and for the communities that grew up like we did,
Yeah.
multilingual, bicultural, biliterate,
Mhm.
that understand these two cultures. And a lot of times that fuses these two cultures together, like Chicanos,
Yeah.
like Pochos, or like whatever,
Yeah.
or Tejanos, or whatever it might be. You
Uh-huh.
know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
so it's not just one, it's not just the other, it's the fusion of those two. And it's in the fusion of those two that the understanding comes out of. And that's a very specific group of people.
Yeah. And I think there's an opportunity to do it in short format and long format, video, written, right? Like there's a lot of
For young
opportunity
people,
to,
for older people, for professionals, for
yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
yeah, no, I like it. I like it. As you were talking about it, I forgot the date, but Vicente Fernandez passed away over the summer or something,
Yeah,
recently,
yeah.
and of course there was a lot of commemorations and stuff like that. But somehow I got into the rabbit hole of, I wasn't necessarily watching his videos or performances. I was really watching of, what is that called? When people first, how do you say it? Like reaction videos, but so some folks who would have never known him, right? Like these folks were either African
So
American
Vicente's trending, and this is the first time they've heard of him, and they're listening for the first
and
time.
they're listening for, and they're just like in awe. So then there was this one person who he was like LGBT theater vocalist, vocal coach.
Yeah,
And he heard Vicente for the first time because again, stuff was trending, and he's like, "Oh my, how did I go my lifetime without
yeah,
hearing this person?" Right, right, and so then that one really stuck out to me. Like, wow, yeah, like I grew up with that, and I was like, yeah, that's a given. But for folks like parts of the world who never saw that, even within the U.S. or whatever, who like that just wasn't your cup of tea, or you weren't exposed to it, like yeah, that artist, that tenor, that was a world renowned musician artist, right? And some folks never got a chance to see that until now, until like the videos, etc. And then there was just a lot of like first time non-Spanish speakers who I was kind of seeing their reactions to, like, I have no idea what this person's saying, but the passion he's saying it, the bravado he's saying it, like that's speaking to me. Even I have no idea what they're saying, right? So I think that was interesting to me. Not so much of like, obviously his passing was hard, but like how there are still tons of people who never even experienced his music, his live shows, etc. Right?
and you're right. Like I mean, we grow up with this, so we take it for granted, and we think it's like his talent and his ability is like a regional thing. But like, I think back the example that you gave, like these opera singers, right? And opera usually are singing in languages that I don't understand, but
Yeah, yeah.
there's various sort of like songs that I feel the
Mm-hmm,
pull of
mm-hmm,
the
mm-hmm,
of the
mm-hmm.
of the voice, right? Because I'm not
Yeah,
sure what they're saying, and I'm trying to create a parallel, like how would somebody who's a non-Spanish speaker react to
yeah,
just the voice and the passion that comes out of
yeah,
Vicente, because he really sort of takes it up several
yeah.
notches when it comes to sort of like his performances.
Mm-hmm,
And
mm-hmm.
I think it's something similar, like, because yeah, you're right, like there's these like opera singers, and Vicente is like very much within that
Mexican.
tradition when he really hits those really high notes,
Mm-hmm,
that
mm-hmm,
you really feel the
mm-hmm.
pull, and of course the content of the songs really make it even stronger, because he is
Right,
really talking about el amor, el desamor, and
right.
whatever it might be, family, mother, father, whatever, these
Yeah,
loves of our lives. And I feel like it's something similar, where
yeah.
people, if they hear it for the first time, they can really appreciate it, maybe not on a sort of like uh um linguistic level,
Right.
but definitely on a tone and on the sort of passion
Yeah,
behind it.
yeah, yeah. I thought about that when you were saying like, why couldn't we create something like, why couldn't we create like reaction videos to things we're seeing trending or whatever? Like, how do we make that about leadership, professionalism, etc. Right?
Or educational in general,
Educational. Hmm.
right? I
Yeah,
mean, because
yeah,
because we're definitely experts in certain fields, but we're educated and we're
right.
lifelong learners in a variety of different things. And I think what's
Hmm.
beautiful is that we're, because of the bicultural, biliterate, we can bring these two different sort of
Yeah,
worlds together and
yeah,
either compare and contrast, or
yeah,
a lot of times they're just brought together and formed into something new, like which
yeah,
is a lot of the Chicano culture,
yeah. No, exactly. Let's let's give it a shot next time. Yeah, let's do like a. We have to look at what it looks like for the censorship, not censorship, for the, so we don't get blocked out or whatever. But
right?
let's see if we could see a little video and then our reaction to it, right? And then
I like
our
that.
our different take to it, 'cause,
I like that. That would be
yeah,
cool. Let's think about what, and then let's do it. I like it.
yeah, yeah, yeah.